It's a baseball tier list. How many times do I have to explain it? We are tier listing the things that we should tier list. If you're a baseball content creator, this is the kind of stuff that you should be making a tier list of so you can get engagement on YouTube, Twitter, Friendster, Last.fm, FarmersOnly.com, just whatever, social media you're on. This is the stuff you should be talking about. So let's get started here. What do we think of a team tier list? We're making a tier list of all the MLB teams. Let's say how they'll do in the 2022 season. A simple team tier list can definitely be an A or an S under the right circumstances. It's just that right now it's a B. It's a fairly safe play, maybe a little bit on the boring side. Starting pitchers tier list. Now, this one's pretty good. Again, it's dependent year to year. Right now, clear-cut, Jacob deGrom's probably the best, but it gets really interesting as you get down into, who's going to be an A or a B or a C, because it doesn't seem like there's too much between, say, the 10th best starting pitcher and the 25th best starting pitcher right now. There's a lot of good options out there, so I actually think starting pitcher tier list is probably better than team tier list, so we're definitely going to say starting pitcher tier list is an A. Relief pitcher tier list is fun, but relievers are just wonky. The landscape for who's good and who's bad in relief just changes and fluctuates all the time. They don't throw a lot of innings, so there's a lot of wonky stuff that can happen with their numbers. So often you see someone who is considered a top tier reliever have a bad year, or someone just comes out of nowhere and has an amazing year. I'm going to leave it as a B because it's a lot of fun still, but yeah, they're tricky. For example, one time Giraffe Deck Mark was doing a reliever tier list, and I went in the comment section trying to be super smart, like, hey Mark, buddy, you thought Josh Hader's the best reliever? Well, he's not even the best reliever on his team, referring to Devin Williams. And then the 2021 season happened, and then I looked dumb, so I went back and deleted the comment. Now you can't find it. There's no proof I was ever wrong about baseball online. If you're doing positions, third base is as good as it gets. There's just so much top-tier talent to discuss here. Oh my gosh, for the 7th year in a row, who's better, Nolan Arenado or Manny Machado? I don't know. Let's debate it. Let's do a tier list and let's go online. Let's get the comment section. Let's engage. It's great. It's just, money in the bag, What's going on with Matt Chapman? What's going on with Alex Bregman? Oh my gosh, Austin Riley, what a year. Is Josh Donaldson back? Here comes Ke'Bryan Hayes. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Third base tier list forever, for infinity. Which MLB player would win in a fight? Now, this is a highly intellectual debate subject. Not everyone online is willing to engage with this in a positive manner, so I'm going to put it as a C. However, with the correct approach, this can definitely work out for you. Just simply debating which MLB player, if there's a massive battle royale, they're all there on one baseball diamond, who wins in a fight? We're going to put it as a C for now, but only because you, the viewer, the simpleton, are not able to comprehend, not always able to pick up what the creators are putting down. Manager tier list. This is a big fat D. How dare you? How dare you think you can rank managers? Nobody knows who's a good manager or who's a bad manager unless you work in like a locker room or something. How dare you? It's just a crappier way to rank teams. Tell me right now, go in the comment section right now, tell me if Brandon Hyde is a good manager or not. He loses 1 million games a year and he has a crappy team. How does that work? How do you know if he's good or not? The only good manager is Craig Counsell. That's a hill I will die on. Craig Counsell is good, the rest, I don't know. So stop acting like you know. Gabe Kapler was a laughingstock in Philadelphia, then he went to San Francisco and he won 143 games. They won 143 games, and every single player was 37 years old. Outfield grass patterns. I'm sorry, it's a D. It gets the people going, but it's just too toxic. The rivalry between Diamond Gang, Checkerboard Gang, Circles Gang, it's just too much. The discourse is just too much for anyone to handle. There's no way to do a patterns tier list. I'm sorry. Generally what we're going for here is social media engagement, but it's just too vicious. It's just too vicious. Baseball video game tier list. Here's the problem with this one. Think back to whatever baseball video game you were playing when you were 10 years old. Just think back, what games were out when I was 10 years old. That's always going to be the best one. Why is that? Because everything's awesome when you're 10 years old. Oh my gosh, wow, what a weird coincidence. All the baseball video games were better when we were 10, even though we're different ages, so we were 10 at different times. Have you ever tried to play backyard baseball as a grown-up? Like, the presentation, the characters, like, those are definitely fun, but actually playing the game backyard baseball as a grown-up, it's just like doing this. I don't get it. Max tier list. This is when you do a tier list of all the MLB players named Max. And obviously, we all know it's going to be an A. Max Scherzer, Max Muncy, Max Fried, Max Stassi, Max Kepler. We have Maxes in the minor leagues right now, including another guy named Max Muncy. It's just good, clean fun. Fans and fan bases tier lists. You know, this one really gets the people going, which is a huge plus. I'm going to put it in B because you just have to do a little bit of pretending for it to really work. You have to pretend that wide swathes of people are somehow monolithic. You know, you have to pretend that Yankees fans are somehow more or less virtuous than Red Sox fans as a collective. You know, if Kansas City became the most populated city in the United States, and then subsequently the Royals became the team with the most fans, everything people say about Yankees fans, people would then say about Royals fans, right? Stadium rankings. We're going to put this at a C. Obviously, you need the experience of having been to these stadiums to really make a proper assessment. Like, if you're doing a stadium tier list and you haven't even attended a game at the majority of them, what are you doing? You're just judging pictures on your TV. What are you doing? You don't know what every stadium smells like. You haven't thought of the smell. And inevitably, the people that see your tier list on YouTube or Friendster or Farmers Only, they probably have been to like 2 stadiums on average, so they don't know what they're talking about either. That said, with the right people involved, you can definitely have it be a good tier list, so we're going to leave it as a C rather than a D. MLB insiders, you know, you've got your Jon Heyman, your Bob Nightingale, your Jeff Passan, your Ken Rosenthal, these guys, the newsbreakers. I'm going to put it as an A. I think it's fun, and realistically, Bob Nightingale is the best out of all of these because he is the most mentally healthy user of social media on the planet. Everything he does, every tweet he posts, just typos and misspellings and hundreds of people telling him he sucks at his job. What does he not do? Lash out. He just keeps going. Full steam ahead. Full Bob. He has no desire to argue with the peanut gallery. He has no desire to be well-liked. He has no desire to reflect upon his work or be critical of himself. He is Bob Nightingale. He is a machine. He is here to report baseball, and he's not going to engage with you, the lowbie, the idiot. What an absolute king. Creator tier list. Now you're doing a tier list of creators like maybe myself, or John Boy, or Fuzzy. This is obviously a D. Content creators do not deserve your attention. They do not deserve your respect. Why? Because we don't respect you. We might talk about how thankful we are to have an audience or a platform or to be able to do this full time. It's all a lie. Secretly, we think you're all chubby little piggies, and we're just putting on our overalls and our galoshes every morning at 5 a.m. to bring you a bucket of slop. MLB The Show players. This one's pretty good because I think it like the upper levels of that competition, you do have a lot of guys playing against each other on a regular basis, and inevitably sort of tiers of MLB The Show talent start to form. So we're going to put that at B because on Twitter, I saw it doing numbers. Like, it was definitely getting engagement. Like, it's definitely funny to see guys be like, oh yeah, dude, XXX Jack Dingers HD is so good with Edward Cabrera, dude. I'm just like nodding my head like, I don't know what that means, you know? Then you've got MAGA tier list. You're doing a tier list of which MLB star is the most MAGA. This used to be like an A, now it's like a C. MAGA fell off. Look at the cable news ratings, okay? They're all just down, down, down. Ever since the end of MAGA, it used to be they were just a bunch of MAGA merchants, you know, all day talking about MAGA. Now there's no more MAGA, and now there's President Joe Boopy Boo. But there still is a fun range of MAGA players out there, ranging from, you know, guy who only cares about Second Amendment so they can hunt, to where were you on January 6th? Mascot tier list. Mascot tier list is a little bit like manager tier list because it's like Philly Fanatic is the good one, just like Craig Counsell is the good one, and then the rest are kind of crap. You know, Philly Fanatic truly is the Craig Counsell of being a mascot. I'm going to put mascot tier list at C actually, because on its own it's not that great, but there's actually some fun permutations of mascot tier list you can do, such as which mascot would win in a fight, or which mascot is the most MAGA. Quarterback tier list. Quarterbacks are so sick, dude. I love quarterbacks so much. Whenever I think of football, all I do is talk about who is the quarterback and if I think the quarterback is good or not. Quarterbacks sell, dude. Quarterbacks are so good. Quarterbacks are clearly S right next to third baseman. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, but Bailey, this is your voice. Oh, but Bailey, quarterbacks play football. This is a baseball tier list. Wrong. All quarterbacks played baseball. They would all be fourth outfielders on the Tigers. Instead, they chose the easy path by being an NFL quarterback instead. Uniform tier list. I don't even have jokes for uniform tier list. It's just a good tier list to be doing. I just think it's a good, down home, lunch pail, first one in, last one out, working class type of tier list, you know? MLB Twitter tier list. Now, here's the thing. You're probably thinking, oh, he's talking about doing a tier list with like me and Cespedes Family Barbecue and Pitching Ninja. No, it's not like that. It's like when kids go online and then they do a tier list of all the accounts ran by 17-year-olds that have exactly 513 followers. And they're all just named like Icy Lane Thomas season or something like that. And the only people that engage with it are the people that are on it. And to everyone else, it just might as well be in Mandarin. That's a D. Waste of time. Second baseman from 1986. That is going to be a B. You know, some people like it, some people don't, but there's some really good content out there online on the website, youtube.com, about people ranking second baseman from 1986, or so I've heard. Baseball tier list. So now we're getting really meta. Now we're ranking the act of doing a baseball tier list on our baseball tier list. Is this a good tier list to be doing for social media engagement? Are people enjoying this? Are people entertained by this? Obviously, I know the answer, and it is a firm and solid B. Not nearly as good as doing a tier list of players named Max, but still clearly superior to stadiums. And then finally, the final baseball tier list to rank on our baseball tier list, fast food. You already know the answer. That's the best possible thing you can rank on this website. I know it's technically not related to baseball, but it's just easy money. It is the most undefeated tier list of all time. Way to go. Fast food tier list, S.